Hey guys, this is Stars at Dawn. Today I want to talk about the Behringer Edge. It's a clone of the Moog DFAM, or Drummer from Another Mother, and aside from a couple extra features such as USB, it's exactly the same concept. It's a 2-oscillator, 8-step drum machine, and it's not quite a drum machine, it's not quite a synthesizer, it's really its own special thing. I picked it up mainly for use as a live performance tool, but I've been finding more use for it as kind of an ingredient sound design tool. As far as instruments go, it's been a lot of fun. It's easy to get lost in and spend hours playing around and creating interesting patterns. And some of them have led to some completed musical ideas. For the price, I think it's a lot of good features and it's probably worth it. In this video, I want to go over all of the features of the Edge, but I think that maybe more important is to go over some of my thought process and some of the ways I've discovered for using this in creating music, and hopefully that will give you some thoughts and some inspiration for use in your own work. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. All right, this is the Edge, and as you can see, there is an oscillator section, there is a sequencer, noise, output or VCA, and a filter section. And first I will take you through the oscillators and we'll go from there. So the oscillators have these frequency, primary frequency knobs that control the frequency of our waveform. There are two waveforms. There is a square and a much smoother triangle. And of course there are two of them, so if I turn the second one up, oh, lovely. Love it. The oscillators have quite a bit of range. Let's listen to that. So, sub-audible all the way up into sub-audible territory. Ooh, ow, ow, ow. It's terrible. The Edge has 2 envelope controls per oscillator, one for each oscillator. And if we attack on the oscillator gets faster. This is nice if you want to have different attacks per oscillator. There is FM modulation. So in this case, the first oscillator will modulate the waveform of the second. Cool. This gives us lots of nice bell sounds. The oscillators also have a decay that controls oscillators 1 and 2. Which changes our slope and is great for making wacky laser noises. There is a hard sync toggle right here. So this is unsynced. The oscillators are running independently. And if I sync them, does is it makes one of the oscillators a follower and one a leader, and at the bottom of the waveform of one, it will cut off the follower's waveform. So for instance, if this is a square wave like this, and this is a triangle. If it's offset like this, it will cut it off to be something like that. So it gets cut off. So it does change the waveform, but it also makes sure that things are phase aligned, and it's really useful for kind of like bass sounds. Usually they're more powerful, but sometimes this is more interesting. Moving on to the sequencer. If I hit play, this starts our sequence. And as you can see, there is a sequent pitch mod toggle switch. It's set to off right now, but if I set it to oscillator 1 and 2, now the relative pitch of these two oscillators are being controlled by the pitch envelope, or not pitch envelope, the pitch knob on our sequencer. Below these are velocity, so if I turn them off, they will not ring out. And if all of these are down and one is up, these will kind of pick up where the envelope left off, which is a really cool feature for running more kind of progressive lines. Very cool. There are some great quality of life features. There is an advance and trigger, which makes it quite a bit easier to tune these. And I believe this is missing from the original DFAM, so this is an improvement. On the lowest setting, it runs at about 35 BPM. And it goes quite high. So, ooh, that's a terrible noise. So, there you have it. All right, we have a noise feature where if I turn down the volume on the oscillators, turn this up, we have white noise and pink noise, which is pretty useful for creating hi-hats and snares. Let me see, maybe I can make a snare. Yeah, so pretty easy to make a snare. The noise is not affected by pitch. But yeah, we can make some easy little hi-hats. Very nice. That brings us into this filter section right here. There are two filters. There is a high pass. And a low pass. Now, this is one of the areas where the unit is slightly different than the DFAM, because I'm not certain, but I believe the Moog style ladder filter has a patent. So Behringer can't just copy that. There is resonance. We have a delay here. And envelope is kind of like the attack. There we go. So if we open up our filter and we go all the way down and all the way up, we get some really long synthesizer lines. And finally, we have a noise mod, which mixes in noise, a little burst of noise, into our VCF. And finally, we have our output module, which has two VCA modes, a fast and a slow. So this is like the attack for the master volume. So this is similar to if I was taking the volume knob and going whoa like this. And this is how fast this knob is being turned up. And decay is how fast the knob is coming down. So if I set it to fast, low decay, there we go. Cool. So you can see how we can get these sort of little percussive noises. And that is it for all of the basic features of the Edge. There is, of course, a patch bay up here, which is fairly straightforward. There aren't as many patch options as I would like, but they are pretty cool. So some of the more interesting patches are patching like velocity into tempo, which can let you create weird swing and all kinds of things like that, or passing the pitch into the FM amount here. So the higher the noise, the more of a bell-like quality it will have. Yeah, there's all kinds of interesting things that I've discovered here. So, cool. Stars are voyaging the night. They are shining out their light. What they give, they cannot keep. So I pray into the deep. All right, that's the Edge. I have been using this for a few weeks now, and my kind of discovery and exploration of the instrument has led me away from using it as primarily a percussion generator, and I've mostly been using it for building epic kind of synth lines, pads, and sub bass whooshes and booms. I've also used it for making some risers for transitioning, and what's cool about that is I get to play it in the track. So I turn a knob and I can have any kind of riser I want with any kind of timing I want. And there's a lot of options for patching and manipulating the sound to get all kinds of textures. I've had a lot of fun with that. I've used it for a lot of chirpy, ringing bell tones, and it's been a lot of fun to mix with the oscillators on the Strega. Pitch out into the Strega is 1 volt per octave, and then I tune it however I want, and that's been a lot of fun. Do I recommend that someone buy this? Yes and no. If you don't have your bases covered with, say a capable flagship synthesizer like Serum, Massive X, or a hardware equivalent, I think you have more important things that you could be spending your money on. If you want a drum machine, there are certainly more powerful drum machines, and this drum, it's very genre specific. So if I was making techno or something like that, it might be more useful, but I find the 8 steps to be very limiting. That said, I have had a lot of luck using it for sound design, taking one shots, using the trigger instead of the sequencer to bend notes and create all kinds of textures. And I've been having a lot of luck with it in cinematic pieces. So getting these big epic kind of like bass and higher synthesizer lines, and then layering them up with strings and things and playing weird flutes. It has also accomplished one of my primary goals of getting away from my computer, getting outside, and using my studio space more as a musician and less as an engineer. And because of the amount of time I spend in front of my screen making music, anything that can reduce my screen time is totally worth it to me. That is basically everything. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And see you next time. Have a wonderful day.